What's up, HyperFast Nation? On this episode of the show, I sat down with a repeat guest. He's been on this show multiple times before. Did 100 deals in 2022 as an investor, flipper, rehabber, and wholesaler. Welcome back to the show, Matt Fullerton. What's up, Matt? Welcome back to the show. How are you doing today?
Hey, Dan, I'm good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. Great to have you back on the podcast. You're just, a more and more frequent visitor as we...
Can't get rid of me, man.
Yeah.
I like being on.
So a lot's been going on in the market since the last time we sat down and did this.
Yeah.
I think we were talking before the show, like 21 was a crazy market. The start of 22 was a crazy market. And then it, kind of came to a halt, at least the volume did.
Yeah.
And you just saw velocity slow down really. But what's your take on what's transpired over the last year?
I think we had like one of the craziest sellers markets ever, right? Like for about a year and a half there, we had this super intense sellers market where there's no inventory. The people can't find houses. People can't afford houses. Rates are low. Prices are sky high. And it just it was something I've never seen it before anyway. And at some point, after a year or so of that, people start getting used to it, especially newer agents, things like people got used to it and think, hey, this is just how it is now, which isn't the case. Guys like you and I who have been through recessions, been through multiple slowdowns, we know that it's never this. It's always peaks and valleys. And the best you can do is hope to smooth out the data set a little bit. So sure enough, second half of 22, market slowed down real fast, rates went up. The government trying to push us into a recession didn't help anything. but
trying? You think they're trying to cause a recession?
Yeah, I think they're trying to at least slow inflation by causing some recessions and some sort of recession. But I mean that's for another time.
Interesting take.
so they eventually we got to a point where, hey, the market was kind of stabilized, right? It was kind of like it was before COVID, before all that, but there's all these people who forgot, hey, the market, before COVID, inventory lasted a month or so. We had or longer. We had lots of houses available. People could find rentals. That was normal. And now when the market slowed down, it felt like a crash because you had been up so high and coming back down to normal, it felt like a big crash. So I think a lot of people really took that as kind of like a death sentence for the market. But in reality, I think it was just more of a normalization. And we're already kind of seeing an uptick now, right? I mean, I don't know about you, but lenders I work with, they have rates in the fives now. So
yeah,
we were at 8.
We've definitely seen low or low sixes, even fives now quoted without points and origination or buy down. So yeah, we're definitely seeing that. We've seen an uptick in our open houses as well in the DMV market, and we've even seen multiple offer situations as well. So it definitely seems like it's like the velocity is trending back up, but it might be a situation where some houses get multiple offers, there's negotiations, right? I think it's an environment where skill sets will matter more than they did before. You can no longer be an order taker, right?
Yeah, it's not McDonald's, man. You got to have skills. I used to have, believe it or not, I used to have a sales manager a long time ago. When I was first in the car business, he goes, "Hey, if you want to be an order taker, work at McDonald's. Otherwise, go sell these people something." And I was like, okay, that makes sense.
What are you seeing on the investor side of things? I mean, you obviously do a ton of business, like 8, 9, 10 deals a month. Sometimes you flip them, sometimes you keep them, sometimes you wholesale the deal, right? How has your strategy changed in the last 6 months?
As far as wholesale goes, what I found is, a lot of lenders tightened up, and when lenders tighten up, deals tighten up. So we had a lot of private and hard money lenders who tightened up quite a bit and raised rates just because they're a little worried about the market, which then trickles down to a lot of the buyers. So I saw a lot of people, I knew right away people will be a lot more conservative with their numbers. So that just means I have to be more conservative with my numbers. So I dropped my buy percentage. I made sure I was real diligent with, hey, the area, the days on market there, did a lot more research on the actual market than just running the numbers with the comps and saying, okay, this is a deal. So, in areas like, inside the Beltway here by DC, those areas inside the Beltway, they didn't really get hurt. It was pretty much business as usual. But further outlying areas that are a little more rural, it became a lot harder to wholesale there. So I adjusted my numbers for those. And also, anytime I see a market downturn, man, I buy properties and hold them. So
Right.
I always liked when the market's going down, seems to be going down, get good deals on nice properties and I just hang on to them. So I had 2 deals that I originally planned to wholesale, and I ran the numbers. I was like, man, rentals are through the roof in that neighborhood. Okay, I'm keeping these, and I'm just putting some lipstick on and putting them back on the market. So I always try to buy short and long term rentals when you get a little bit of a market downturn.
Yeah, I think that's a really great strategy, and I think you're going to see more of those situations where investors hold and go for the long term, right? They play the inflation game, they play the long term appreciation game, and
Exactly.
because of that, on the flipping or residential side, you're going to see less inventory, right? So there's definitely forces slowing down demand, such as higher interest rates, but at the same time, there's forces increasing demand, like higher rental prices, and forces that are slowing down the supply side.
I'd encourage every investor out there, if you're a real estate investor and you're only a wholesaler, I mean, I'd say, this is an old term, people have been saying forever, but you diversify a little bit. Like, you don't want to just be a wholesaler. You don't want to just be a flipper. You don't want to just be a landlord. You want to be able to have multiple exit strategies for every property. That way you can look at each property individually and make it work in a deal one way or the other. So for long-term rentals, for instance, if I can get them at numbers I'd normally get a wholesale deal at, I mean, it's a no-brainer. I get big appreciation, especially if they're in decent shape, much smaller renovations to get them on market. And then all of a sudden I have a ton of equity. So the BRR strategy is right there. It's you can buy, rent, renovate, refinance, repeat. Just keep doing it over and over again. So that's what we do. We buy them, put a little lipstick on them, cash them out because we've got great numbers into them. Go buy another one.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting time for sure. I think we're going to see interest rates come down this year. The Mortgage Bankers Association has forecasted that they'll average low 5s, which means probably by the end of the year we're actually into the high 4s.
Yeah, I think so.
I think at the same time, we're still seeing these when the reports come out on home prices, you're seeing year over year increases in prices. Like January 22 to January 23, homes were up 8%.
Yeah.
Now that gap is getting smaller every month, but I don't think it'll go negative until May or June. I think in May or June you'll see the first year over year decrease, but it's not going to be much. And I think that alone will, plus lower interest rates, will give buyers a little bit more confidence. And I think unlike 07, 08, we don't have that kind of comparison's been like overdone. We don't have to get into that, but I don't think we're going to see, these 20-25% drops. I think five to 10, maybe in some of the heated coastal cities a little bit more, but
I think it's a completely different situation, totally different set of factors than 07, 08. Like, that's just the most recent reference point for people. Like, hey, when was the last time we saw a market down there? 07, 08. So that's people use that as the most recent reference point, but that's kind of like an extreme reference point. So I don't think we have the same market conditions. There's not, a bunch of subprime CDOs being bundled and sold off and fake mortgages being created and everything like that. We're just seeing, a little bit of a downturn in the market because rates were raised. There's some inflation going on, those types of things.
What are the top maybe 3 things that you would recommend for real estate agents to do this year to increase the business that they do with investors?
Well, number one, I'd say for me, it's always prospecting, staying on top of people, a lot of outreach, a lot of putting themselves out there. I would highly, a lot of realtors got really used to being able to, have people come and give them referrals, or just, kind of relying on people, on leads that come in from their broker or leads that come in from their team. And when the market slows down a little bit, that stuff dries up first, man. The leads dry up first, the referrals dry up first, and you've got to go out and go after people. I mean, I'd be chasing down expireds, and I'd be chasing down, listings that went off market a couple years ago. I'd be going after all that stuff. I'd be, getting prospect lists and calling. I'd be all over social media saying, "Hey, I am looking to list houses. I'm looking to find buyers. I'm gonna get you the best price for your house, and I'm gonna find you the house you're looking for. This is the year." I would be constantly bombarding people with information to come and see me. A lot of prospecting.
Yeah, it's prospecting, education, right? Like we do the grid meetings, investor meetups.
Oh yeah.
I think if you're an agent, you want to do business with investors, like.
And you mentioned something when we were talking before this. You said, hey, you can't be an order taker anymore, and that's an excellent point. A lot of times when the market's red hot, you have people coming to you and they just tell you what you want, and you hand it to them, on a little platter. But now that that's not the case, you've got to actually have sales skills. You've got to convince people, hey, this is the house for you, or convince people, hey, this is the price your house needs to sell for. Convince that other agent that, hey, this is the best deal you're going to get. You've got to be able to have some sales skills. So I would certainly tell agents out there to invest time in their education, read the books, come to our meetings, listen to our podcast, listen to the things that we do to make these things happen.
And for the agents that really want to take the training to the next level, we got to mention the opportunity that they have at EXP with our group.
For sure.
They obviously get like all of the training that Carrie and I have done, HyperFast Agent training, and masterminds and Zooms and whatnot. But what about the training that they get from you, right? When they join Matt Fullerton at EXP, really go talk a little bit about, like next week you're getting on a Zoom to teach our group about specifically how to work with investors, how to get more investor deals, right? But go into a little bit more background on how you're going to help agents who join you at EXP grow their business.
Well, I'm going to go all the way from the beginning, all the way to the part where they're like seasoned investors. So what I like to start out with for me is, I've designed a couple sales programs for a couple large scale investors, especially out west, who buy, dozens of properties a month. And so one of the things I want to teach is not just, how to invest. Hey, here's how you get this private money loan. Hey, here's how you estimate repairs. Because, that stuff's all available. I think the thing that might even be more valuable at the beginning is the sales skills to go and meet with people and learn how to close these deals, learn how to get deals at the right numbers, and learn how to deal with prospects, deal with clients, and get what you want out of these situations and out of these interactions, without having to lay everything on the table. So we're going to do a lot of sales training, a lot of sales education, a lot of prospect training. We're going to do a lot of training on, hey, here's how you invest, here's how you wholesale, here's how you flip, here's how you do buy and hold, here's how you do short-term rentals, and here's how you work the leads from front to back that you get in to make those extra strategies work for you. So we're gonna do all of it, man. We're not just gonna show them how to invest. We're gonna show them how to get to the point where they can invest.
What do you think is the biggest reason that real estate agents sometimes have trouble working with investors, or they'd rather not do investor clients, they're more comfortable just being 100% residential?
I think there's some stigma out there, like, oh, investors are cheap, investors only want cheap deals, investors are going to be a pain, they're not going to have conventional financing. A lot of realtors just aren't used to it. And when the reality is that working with an investor, especially like me, is way easier than working with normal clients on market. First of all, I'm going to do the paperwork, and my paperwork's easier. I'm going to pay you a referral fee. I already know what I'm looking for. I'm going to go out and take a look at this house. I can have an answer for you on a house same day. I can get you, if you show me a house today, I can get you an offer, get you a contract, get it all signed today, and close 2 weeks from now. They barely have to lift a finger. All they got to do is get their clients to the table and get their clients to sign a contract.
Yeah, it's just really learning another way of doing things, learning how to evaluate deals, learning how to find out what people's deal criteria is, and then go out and find that. And if you can pick up this skill set, I think for all the reasons you said, you're going to be able to have repeat clients. You're going to have clients that are more financially driven, less emotional, and I think there's a whole ton of benefits. And if you're an agent out there and you want to learn how to get really good at this, learn from someone that's doing 100 deals a year. If they want to learn more about partnering with you at EXP, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
They can check me out on social. They can email me. Any of that stuff, that's all available. I'm all over I'm all over Facebook, Instagram, especially. They can email me at any one of my emails. I can put it in the chat for you too. People can reach out anytime, and I can go over what we're going to be doing, and what the benefits are going to be for joining.
All right. What contact numbers or email should they use?
You can email me at matt@chesshousehunters.com. You can look me up on Instagram. It's the REI guy, Matt. Facebook is just Matt Fullerton. There's probably a few on there, but I'm the one. I'm usually in one picture with my kids or my girlfriend, something like that. So you'll recognize me. And I want to mention also for the agents that in 2021 I paid one agent $33,000 in referral fees. Just in referral fees, he got $33,000. And in 2022, I paid an agent $26,000 or $25,000. I'm sorry, in referral fees in 2022.
Yeah, so, that's could be a whole nother leg of your business. Like if you get a listing that won't sell, but you think it's a good investor deal and you don't have someone for it, reach out to Matt for
that
sure.
Doesn't even include their commission. That doesn't include the commission they got off those deals from the set. That's just what I paid them as referral fees. So one guy gave me 11 deals, brought me 11 deals in 1 year, got $33,000.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you for being a part of what we're doing at EXP. I know you're going to help tons and tons of agents grow their business there as well. And to all of our listeners and viewers, thanks for tuning in. Please remember to hit the like button, subscribe, share, give us the feedback, comments, all that good stuff. We love hearing from you guys. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.